It's me, Marc Loyd. The Marc Loyd is actually talking to the rock.
Marc Loyd.
Has his man wide open. That's Bailey at the 15, 10, 5. Touchdown,
Marc Loyd.
What do we want as a sports fan? Huh? What do we want?
Marc Loyd.
Have you had any water today?
There's water in my lemonade.
There you go. So I'm not a huge fan of vegetables. Okay, so how can I eat some? Just blend them up.
Sit back, relax, and let this guy do all the thinking for you. Marc Loyd.
Welcome, one and all, to another edition of the Marc Loyd Show. My voice is still jacked from the weekend. What a great weekend it was. Lots of yelling and screaming. And then I started watching football. Boom, boom. Come on, How about a rim shot? No rim shot? You're killing me. So my voice is a little off right now. I sound like I'm 13 or 14 years old again, right?
Hey.
But wow. Seminole Bill's in the house. Seminole, how are you?
Great.
Yeah, of course you are.
Being old today.
Yeah, of course you're great. Eric, who's spinning the music over there.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. How are y'all?
It is great. How was last weekend for you? I know you were out there at the stadium doing all kinds of things.
I had a blast.
Shenanigans.
Oh, yeah. Had a blast.
And I will say this, everybody. Before we get into the show, we got a great show for you, as always. Jam-packed hour. We're going to talk all kinds of college football, NFL football, of course, predictions. And for your entertainment aficionados out there, we'll do a little Walking Dead recap and look ahead to this week's episode, which is always a lot of fun. We have our fitness tip coming up, Seminole Bill.
We do.
Also, we have our Austin Idol water check.
Absolutely.
So a whole bunch of things to get through. Before we do anything, though, we are brought to you by Fraud Protection Network. Our good friends over there have the Rabbit Pro Real-Time Identity Theft Protection. It's time to start protecting your identity today. Not just yours, but your whole family's. You can give them a call at 855-203-0683 or Seminole Bill. Visit them on the website at
fraudprotectionnetwork.com.
Couldn't have said it better myself. But, okay, so for those of you that went to the Florida State game, last week we came up with an idea to just to have a little fun. We wanted to be a little creative, you know. And so we came up with the hashtag Blame Jameis t-shirts that everybody saw. And on the back had a checklist of all the things that are blaming him for, no matter what it was.
Everything.
Everything. Titanic sinking, you just name it. And so Seminole Bill was out there. Eric was out there. And it was just a good time just to, hey, see if anybody wants these t-shirts. Sell them. Just basically give them away at cost, it seemed. And let's just have a little fun with them. And Seminole Bill, how did it go?
I cannot tell you how many times.
Just
phenomenal.
Yeah, hundreds of them gone. We just ran, a few hundred just to see if they would sell and how much fun we could have getting the shirts out there. They were gone in 2 seconds. You could get your hashtag Blame Jameis t-shirt. Where, Seminole Bill?
Well, just check out the Marc Loyd Show website. We'll have a link there to get the shirts.
And also you go to Facebook. Can you go to Facebook too? The Marc Loyd Show on Facebook. Eric, I know you're the kind of the mastermind driving force behind marketing all this. So is that where they get them? The hashtag Blame Jameis shirt?
You can get them off the Marc Loyd website. There's also a Facebook page dedicated just to the Blame Jameis shirt.
Yeah, especially if you got shirts on.
So it's just a Blame Jameis. What is it? Like you go to facebook.com
Facebook.com/Blame Jameis Wear.
Blame Jameis Wear.
WEAR.
Okay, there you go, folks. Go get your shirts. Very cool. For the next home game, which is in, I think, a couple weeks, right? They got Louisville on Thursday. Then, okay. All right, enough of that. What a night it was. What a game it was. Last week, Florida State, Notre Dame lived up to the hype just like it did in 1993.
Yeah.
It was an epic football game. No matter who you were rooting for, it was exciting. So the casual fan out there watching it on TV got a huge TV rating, 8.7. I think it came in at on ABC, and it was just a fantastic game. I know there was controversy with the call and everything like that. We'll get into all that, and we'll talk more about the Florida State Notre Dame game, but also Seminole Bill, Oklahoma and K-State down to the wire. How important is that field goal kicker?
Man,
good Lord, for teams out there to have a kicker, be happy. I know they always make fun of them, They always do. They always make fun of the kicker, the punter, and the field goal.
I know.
They're pretty important. Yeah. Just ask Oklahoma.
Yeah, huge.
Just ask Oklahoma, who lost that game against K-State. Yeah. Second loss, Oklahoma's done. Out of the playoffs now. Done. And then you have Baylor going to West Virginia. And Clint Trickett is an animal right now. The quarterback for West Virginia, and also Kevin White, the wide receiver for West Virginia, arguably is the best wideout. There is some it is the year of the wideout, man. There are some fantastic wide receivers with Kevin White, with Shepard at Oklahoma, with Rashad Green for Florida State, with Amari Cooper at Alabama. I mean, there is just some fantastic wide receivers out there. And then we're going to jump to the NFL. And, once again, I think the best team in the NFL solidified themselves. Bill, how about them Cowboys? Wow. Nice victory over the New York Football Giants.
Hurts.
And then, I'm telling you, folks, this is why just football is so great. I mean, every week is so different. I swear, 3 weeks ago, hands down, the best team in the NFL was the Seattle Seahawks.
No doubt about it.
3 weeks later, you're going, I don't know if this team's going to win the Super Bowl. And then they trade Percy Harvin because he's a thug like he always has been since his Florida Gator days. And so Seattle right now seems to be a team that's a little lost, outside of who Russell Wilson is. And then Denver just keeps on rolling. They manhandle a Niners team who you can't get a good gauge on because they're so beat up all over the place. And then we're the home of the Jags right here on one of our affiliates. It's on both on all of them. Okay. So the Jags get their first victory, Seminole Bill. How awesome is that?
That was great.
It was against, and this is the NFL, against a Cleveland team that was red hot.
Yeah.
So the Cleveland, and then everybody starts questioning the Cleveland Browns after they lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, it's just
given Sunday.
Yes, it's a giant roller coaster of emotions every single, and it usually starts on a Thursday night, and it doesn't stop until Monday night. And last Monday night football game. Well, I won't. Your Steelers.
Yeah.
Well, it was awesome.
It was a great game.
I mean, are you kidding me? They win the game like in the last 10 seconds, it seems. They scored 3 touchdowns in no time at all. I mean, it's just a crazy, crazy year. And what is awesome now in comparing college and the pros is that now college is kind of like the NFL because of the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure, and I should know this right off the top of my head, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on this, but the first playoff poll or whatever you want to call it from the committee is coming out, I think, next week.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, next week. So we finally get a sense. So we've been speculating, and Seminole Bill, I'm going to put you on the spot later on. I haven't let you know this yet. We're going to look at who our 4 playoff teams are for the end of the year, not who the committee. Or we can go both ways. I'll let you decide. Do we want to say who the current 4 best college football teams are, or look down the road and say, okay, regardless of what's going on now, looking at schedules, looking at who they have to play, who plays each other, who has the easiest road, what are going to be the final 4 for the college football playoffs? And that's why it's great because, obviously the NFL with their playoff system. So it's all good, my friends. It's all good. Lots of stuff to get to. Let's jump back now to the game of the week. It was Florida State, Notre Dame. I think it's safe to say, I will say this. I think Notre Dame, well, it's tough. I'll say Notre Dame outplayed Florida State for the first half. Once again, Florida State proved to be the best second half team in the country. Yeah. Adjustments out the yin-yang. It truly is amazing. I think both teams are really good. Let's say that. I'm not going to call anybody great because I don't think there is a great team. I think there's great players. For as much as everybody wants to rip Winston, the guy just doesn't lose. The guy's at a different level on the football field. When you need him most and you give him any kind of time, he just lights you up, man.
Gonna hurt you.
He lights you up. On the other side, Evers Goldston played an incredible game. Incredible. Never cracked under the pressure. when Florida State took the lead, the 4th and 18 play to pick that up
Great play.
is just something of, you know what, I'm a special player. Special players pick that play up after a sack. It looks like the game's over. 4th and 18. And then he rolls out under pressure
Gets propped real
and
hard.
throws a dart to Robinson.
Admiral's son. Yeah.
I mean, just outstanding play. Up front, I don't care what, and nobody can give in. I know that the Florida State offensive line in the second half gave Jameis more time and everything like that, but still, Notre Dame manhandled him up front. I mean, there's something, I know Rick Trickett wasn't there and everything, but there's just a trend. I don't know how these guys are all projected, Trey Jackson and Cameron Irvin. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I don't know how they're all projected to be like a top 15, top 20 picks at the beginning of the season. They're not playing up. Maybe the most important player that Florida State lost is Byron Stork, who plays for the New England Patriots right now. Maybe he was the glue that held them all together because they're not playing up to that. Talented running backs in the backfield, and they can't. They just can't run the ball. They can't run the ball on a consistent basis. I mean, are you seeing anything different? No. It's no longer a maybe. I mean, we're 6-7 games in. Forget it.
We are not hitting people in the mouth at all like we should be.
No. Not at all. And it is. And Notre Dame they knew what to do. They knew what to do. And then once again, the defense, they break, but then they don't break to the point where, they lose the game for you. Yeah. I think that secondary-wise, they're not living up to the billing either. There's some question marks. Okay, so it sounds like that you were really ripping them and everything like that. And we're not ripping. I'm not ripping Florida State because at the end of the day, my friends, it's all about one thing. It's all about winning, right? Bill,
just
right,
win,
Eric?
baby. Yeah,
it's about winning.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's WL, and everything like that. Okay, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the call. Okay, we'll talk about the call, and then we will also we'll get into the other college football games that took place. Plus, this upcoming week, college football games. So a lot of stuff to get to. Thanks for bearing with my voice. I know it's a little shaky. We're coming right back here on the Marc Loyd Show. Stay with us.
You're the person your company, family, and friends turn to when something needs to get planned. A meeting, an out-of-town conference, sporting event, reunion, church function, or a sorority or fraternity event. What a headache. Well, there's a little secret that's gonna make your life a lot easier and make you look like a hero. Bassett Events is a professional events, conference, and meeting planning service, and they provide site selection and contract negotiation services to you at no cost. Yep, no cost. As long as your event requires at least 10 hotel rooms for one or more nights. You see, Bassett Events gets paid by the hotel, resort, or vendor, and they'll negotiate the best possible rates for you. Bassett Events saves you time, money, and aggravation, but still keeps you in control of the decision-making process. It's one-stop shopping, and you'll be a hero because it'll be our little secret. Bassett Events, exceeding expectations one event at a time. Call 877-7-EVENT-1, 877-7-EVENT-1, online at BassettEvents.com.
It's me, Marc Loyd. Okay, fans, Peyton Manning, LeBron James, and Andrew Luck, all number one picks. Now let me tell you who your number one pick should be when it comes to protecting your identity. Hands down, it's Rapid Pro from our great friends at Fraud Protection Network. You hear the stories daily, retailer after retailer, having their so-called secure systems being hacked into by criminals, and thousands of good folks like you instantly becoming victims of identity theft. Our amazing team at Fraud Protection Network has developed the next generation in identity theft protection. Rapid Pro, real-time identity theft protection. You get credit monitoring, lost wallet protection, and positive trigger alerts, change of address, payday cash advance, and public records monitoring as well. It's all there, friends. You get true real-time alerting, no secondhand stuff, award-winning member service support, and $25,000 service guarantee to back you up. Call Fraud Protection Network at 855-203-0683 or visit their website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com. Take it from Marc Loyd. When it comes to identity theft, the number one pick is Rapid Pro from Fraud Protection Network.
Marc Loyd here for the number one sports card store in the Southeast. It's Orlando Sports Cards. Folks, Orlando Sports Cards is located 2 miles south of the Florida Mall right next to Sam's Club. Whether you're a serious collector or just a beginner, Orlando Sports Cards can accommodate you if you're looking for baseball, or basketball cards? How about some football or hockey cards? Well, they have it. For you non-sports fans, they carry a large selection of gaming cards, which includes Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Vanguard, and much, much more. Orlando Sports Cards also carries, are you ready for this? Over 150 different wax boxes. Those are the boxes with all the packs in them. So you're thinking with all your new cards, you need to keep them somewhere safe, right? Well, Orlando Sports Cards has a variety of supplies to keep your new cards safe, to keep them in mint condition. Visit them at OrlandoSportsCardsSouth.com or just head on down to the store. Located 2 miles south of the Florida Mall right next to Sam's Club. Or call them at 407-240-0384. The number one sports card store in the Southeast. It's Orlando Sports Cards.
Marc Loyd.
Welcome back to the Marc Loyd Show. My voice is shot still, so thanks for bearing with me as we steal ESPN's game day. We're not stealing this, though, right?
No, it's not owned by them.
Okay, all right. It's just really cool, though.
It's a great music.
I mean, it just is. All right, before we went to the break, we're talking some Florida State Notre Dame game. We're recapping, and then we're going to look ahead. We got to get to the call and everything, but before we do any of that, we're brought to you by our good friends at Fraud Protection Network. And other sponsors as well, but we really love Fraud Protection Network. And their Real Pro, Rapid Pro real-time identity theft protection. Start protecting your family today. Protect the whole family, even the kids.
Yeah.
You know, that's very important, right?
Hey, we got some free trials, too, to hand out.
Free trials to hand out. You just message them and they'll get them to you, right?
That's all right.
Go to the website, marcloydshow.com, or our Facebook, Marc Loyd Show, or hit us up on Twitter, at Marc Loyd Show. That's with a C and one L. Call Fraud Protection Network, though, at 855-203-0683, or visit their website at
FraudProtectionNetwork.com.
Very good. Okay, the call, Seminole Bill. You know what made me feel good for as a college football fan is that I don't care what anybody's saying. I wanted to hear an opinion of somebody that could care less. And when I heard, I think Mike Ferrer, he's the former ref, NFL ref that does it like for Fox Sports. He chimed in immediately and said, "Hey, great call. You got to call that call. It's a penalty. Make the call." It's absolutely, it's just stupidity for the people out there that say, well, you can't make a call like that.
Why not?
Yeah. Because it's at the end of the game?
Because somebody gets open because of a penalty? Yeah. Look, this was obvious. I mean, it doesn't matter. At the high school, the first one they did was in the opening quarter when they got that score, and that was moderately close. One guy. This was both guys blatantly shoving our guys in the end zone.
It looked like a tag.
Locking them up.
Sled, right?
And yes, it created confusion. It did exactly what they wanted it to, and their guy skipped out there to the right with the dump pass and wide open, of course, because no one could get to him. No one could shoot the gap in any way.
And I know you were in college, but in high school you kind of ran the same plays, right?
Of course you did.
Just clear out.
Clear routes or rub routes or scrub routes, but you do not in any way lock your guy up. If you lock him up, you better be turned back toward your quarterback looking for the ball.
And that's how you get out. That's how you get away with it.
That's how you can get away with it. Yeah, you can.
All right. Well, regardless, the flag was called. It was the right call. Florida State wins the football game. And here's one thing. Everybody needs a villain. Well, bar none.
Bring it.
Bar none. Jameis Winston is the villain, and he plays for the evil empire right now, and that's Florida State.
Yep.
The nation is rooting against him. I heard numerous reports of I heard several people around the country that were at sports bars, and they said usually, hands down, everybody roots against Notre Dame just because of the tradition.
No doubt.
Always good. I get it. They said everybody's rooting for Notre Dame. Everybody wants Florida State to lose. Jameis Winston is the number one villain out there, and he plays for like the Death Star or something, and that's the Florida State Seminoles. Yeah. So that's kind of funny. Now, here's one thing, and then we'll move on. What I don't understand though is how Florida State lost ground in the polls. So you don't get any credit for beating the fifth-ranked team in the country, Notre Dame, who comes to Tallahassee to take on a team that hasn't lost a game in a year and a half, won 22 straight, who most experts out there also, and the fans around the nation, said Notre Dame would win the game. So Florida State beats that team, but you don't want to give them any credit for doing it. And this is where they're real hypocrites, because the excuse now is that Florida State didn't dominate Notre Dame. But in the same breath, everyone has been saying that they are not a dominant team. So if you're not a dominant team, and they all agree that they're not, then how could you expect them to dominate a team that you even predicted to beat them? So what is it? It's like, quit being a hypocrite. There's nothing. Choose a side. It's no big deal.
Spin. Because before the game, they're saying, well, is Notre Dame really that good? Is Notre Dame really that good? Are they really that good? I mean, and then
I heard that they are good.
Yeah, well,
I heard that they are good, and they will win the game.
Right, but you hear this spin up until the Stanford win. Okay, then well, maybe they're better than we think. Now, are they really that good to go on the road and beat FSU? Yeah, they can beat FSU on the road. Okay, well, they didn't. Okay, we won the ball game. FSU won the ball game.
Yeah.
Now, credit is due on both sides. Notre Dame played one heck of a ball game. It could have gone either way.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what? When you got two quality teams in the top 5, that's how those ball games are.
That's right. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. All right, let's move on. Florida State has a bye week, though. They play Louisville. It's a very scary game on a Thursday night at Louisville. The Florida State on Thursday night games, it's not a good thing.
No, and we had our the rain game the time before where we couldn't throw the ball in the rain.
And everybody out there, Seminole Bill says he's alumni.
Forgive me.
No. Don't ever forgive you. You're a diehard Seminole fan. Everybody knows
Hence
it.
The nickname.
Use we. You're alumni. You can. No problem with that. All right, big game Bob out there at Oklahoma.
Yes.
Chokes another game away. Good Lord. Big game Bob. The Sooners. Everybody, you could send your tweets in to me now at Marc Loyd Show and tell me how right I was on Oklahoma. Never bought into them. Have always thought that they were, I'm not going to say a fraud. I'm not saying I didn't think they were a good team, but I just thought they always had issues that everybody saw that Alabama game last year in the bowl game and just said Trevor Knight is incredible. And I'm going, man, guys, he had one good game. So I'm not saying he had a bad game, but I knew Oklahoma was not going to be that team. Everybody bought into him. Forget it. No way. Also, how about West Virginia?
Yeehaw.
With a 41-27 win over the 4th-ranked Baylor Bears.
They just busted some of my skits, man. I will tell you what, that was a heck of a ballgame. Clint Trickett, man. When he left here, we all wished him well. But my goodness.
Yeah. No, I mean, nobody thought Clint was as good as what he is. Looked like he's bulked up some. And I was listening to Dana Holgorsen, the head coach for West Virginia, just saying, hey, you know what? He has a year under his belt now. And he understands what we're trying to do, and he understands how to execute this offense. And, man, alive. They could score some points, and they could play some offense. And that Kevin White, as I mentioned earlier in the show, he's one heck of a wide receiver. I mean, he's a big dude. He's like a Julio Jones out there. That's what he reminds me of, kind of. He's just a big dude. And so, yeah, they manhandled Baylor. And the thing about West Virginia, you knew they could score points. So either West Virginia's defense is playing better. Remember, they played Alabama tough early on.
They did.
And if West Virginia's wide receivers could have caught the ball early on,
they win the ballgame.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
I grew up Bama, so
that's true. Yeah, you're a big Bama fan
there,
too.
okay?
Yeah. No, exactly. But the Baylor offense is just struggling, and that really comes into play, folks, when it comes to this Final Four, because Baylor was stay undefeated, then you're a shoo-in. Now you have a loss. Now you have a loss on your as a team, and you're 6-1, and nobody's going to put you in now because your out of conference schedule just is awful. You play nobody, so that's a real problem.
Yeah.
The team that everybody's trying to figure out is K-State, because they are the ones with a quality a quality loss against Auburn, which a lot of people felt K-State should have won the game against Auburn. However, good teams, great teams find a way to win. So I'm not going to hold that against Auburn at all. So there's a lot of stuff going on with that. We'd be remiss if we didn't bring up Florida, the Gators, who, they're at the point now where you just kind of feel sorry for them.
Yeah,
you just do.
Not good.
No. I mean, are you kidding me? 42-0 at one point, I think it was. Homecoming against a Missouri team who's not good at all. They're terrible. I mean, Missouri lost at home against Indiana.
This troubling. I mean, they've got players there.
You know what Florida is right now? They are the team in the country where 4- and 5-star recruits go to die.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, they do. Yeah. They just go to die. Every once in a while, you get but that nobody develops I feel bad for their defense because it seems like their defense plays hard.
Yeah.
And could you imagine if you're on that Gator defense, every second you look up and you're like, my God, he just threw another interception. My goodness. They just fumbled the ball. My goodness. We're already down 14-0, and we haven't even stepped on the field yet. Missouri, there's only 2 teams. I heard the stat. 2 teams that have given up like less than 100 yards of offense or have gained 100 yards of offense and has still won the game. Or no, if you hold the team to 100 yards or less, you're 147-2.
Crazy stat.
The only 2 losses the Gators are responsible for.
Yeah.
Out of all that. And you bring in Kurt Roper. I just, the offense is so bad. What happened to Kelvin Taylor? Maybe he's injured, and I just haven't read that anywhere. Driscoll has got to be the biggest 4 or 5-star quarterback bust for Florida in the last couple of decades. I know recruiting wasn't going on 40 years ago, but I can't imagine a worse quarterback than Jeff Driscoll that has ever played at Florida.
But do you think he's really that bad, or just his confidence is totally gone? I don't.
Bill, but here's my thing: he's just not good.
No, he's not making plays.
That means he's never had confidence his whole career. Come on.
No, you can't do that.
No. So you feel bad for the defense. The offense is a shambles. They're not going to fire. Jeremy Foley is just sticking to his guns. They're not going to fire Muschamp. They're going to review everything. Why do you fire him now? There's pros and cons to it. You get out in front, but then again, when it comes to recruits, who knows what's going on. They just lost another recruit. The linebacker said, I'm not going to Florida. I'm going to Ohio State now. I'm flipping my commitment. So it's just, and then at the end of the game, what's their tradition? They go sing or something?
This really, one thing I will say for my Gator friends, that they are proud of their traditions, and I get that. They've got a lot of them.
Sure.
And to see 2 guys, only 2 at a homecoming, show up to do
they sing or something to the crowd,
alma mater.
Right?
The alma mater.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
I saw that picture. People are filing out.
Win, lose, or draw, man. There's some things you just don't do, and that's not going to send a good message to your folks there. No.
Oh, goodness. And then we've said it. We've said it for weeks, my friends. For weeks. Texas A&M is a joke. A joke. We were outraged. Not really, but we couldn't believe it last week when A&M was still ranked. Crazy. I said, you've got to be kidding me. That team is ranked.
SEC.
The SEC bias is ridiculous. They go out and prove us right. Thank you, Texas A&M, for losing 59-0 to Alabama.
Now, how do you do that? And then all these.
Okay,
look, you got all these guys up in the top 10.
No, you're absolutely right. But then here's what kills me too. So you had Texas A&M this week with the new poll is still getting a vote.
It's just
somebody is still voting.
Somebody's drinking.
They have 1 vote. Somebody out there believes that Texas A&M belongs in the top 25.
Was that the AP or the coaches poll?
AP.
Oh my Lord! Well,
Texas A&M belongs in the top 25. LSU is actually ranked 23rd in one poll. The same LSU team that has 2 losses and got absolutely crushed, embarrassed by Auburn, and won by a field goal over the Gators, and they're ranked 23rd. I mean, what?
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I didn't tell you this. I'm before the game, at game day.
Yeah.
And I'm driving around and listening to things.
Yeah.
And I've got a guy on the radio. Don't know who the guy. Just heard the passing comment.
Yeah.
He still believed at that point that the Gators were going to win the East. Do you believe a guy's on there talking that?
Well. And
talking about one
because people are delusional out there. There's other talk show hosts out there that are just delusional. About they put on their blinders and that's all that matters is their team and everything like that. All right, this upcoming week, Seminole Bill, Ole Miss.
Yeah, watch
LSU beats them, and we look like idiots. But Ole Miss is at LSU. Now I've said it from the very beginning. It sounds silly, folks, but I'm still not sold on Ole Miss. I'm sold on Mississippi State. And the reason I am on Mississippi State is just because there's so much senior leadership on that team that I really do like what Mississippi State is all about. Ole Miss, they keep on proving me wrong every week. The defense keeps on shutting everybody down. I mean, they do. They crushed Tennessee. You know what I mean? So they have to travel to LSU. And I think it's a 7:15 kickoff. So that whole night thing at LSU, which I laugh at because it seems like everybody wins there now.
Yeah.
You know, so Ole Miss at LSU, big game.
Yeah,
it really is
traditional game.
And then the other big game. There's not a lot of them this week. It's kind of like last week and then we have 20th ranked Southern Cal at 19th ranked Utah. And the reason that's a big deal is because that Pac-12 is this mumble jumble
mess.
And that all plays into, it really does, folks. These games, you might not realize it, but it's all going to play into that committee selecting teams. Maybe not USC, but an Oregon. You know what I mean? It affects the Oregons out there. It really does. So you have Oregon hoping that USC, Utah, whatever the case is, you got to look at their schedule, but you know they play them, that they want them to win because then it looks like that much better of a win down the road. So all those things come into play. All right, Seminole Bill.
Yep.
Top 4. You want to do current or projecting?
That's a toughie.
Current top 4?
Yeah, let's go current right now.
Okay, current top 4. 4 best teams in the country. Number 1. They haven't been beat. I don't care what anybody says. Florida State's number 1. They haven't been beat. Throw your best shot at them. They beat a Clemson team that had Deshaun Watson.
Yep.
Okay, big deal.
Without our QB.
Yeah, without the quarterback. And then they take on a Notre Dame team that was playing lights out that night at Tallahassee, takes them down to the wire. So Florida State, number 1. They haven't been beat. 23 in a row. And I don't care what anybody says. You got to factor in the pressure. The pressure that's on them and all the circumstances that swirl around. Number 2, I got Mississippi State.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Okay. Mississippi State.
They're real.
You know what? Even though I'm not 100% sold on them, but I'm going to put them there. Third, I think the third best team right now in the country is Ole Miss.
Yeah, got to give it. Mark.
You got Ole Miss?
Yeah, I'm with you on this for one big reason. They have had the quality players come there. That's one thing. The coach there does recruit well. He's had a great couple of classes.
And they're also under NCAA investigation.
Well, they are.
Give me 2 years and they'll be on probation.
Somehow they do their thing.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
So Mississippi State and that's not a bad. They're both unbeaten. They deserve to be there.
Here's the tough one. Who's the 4th team? Who's the 4th team? Who do you got, Bill? Do you have a Bama and Auburn, Oregon, a Michigan State?
I'm really torn because you could argue for Oregon. You could argue for Alabama with their supposed powerful win. You could argue for like you said, Michigan State. Ohio State's trying to creep back into the mix. I'm probably right now just based off I'm going to probably put Oregon there right now.
You got Oregon at number 4.
Right there.
It is really hard. It's hard to determine, but I want to put Bama there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, it feels wrong that I'm putting Bama there based on what I think they could be. And it does when you see that 59-0 score, you go, aha, there they go.
Yeah, there
they go. But
you have to think back.
You have to think back to them losing to Ole Miss. You have to think back to them beating an Arkansas team that keeps on getting a pass like they're But they lost. But they won. But 1 point though. You know what I mean?
And the game with West Virginia. You know what?
I think you go toe to toe with anybody out there. I'm putting Notre Dame at number 4.
You know what?
I'm putting Notre Dame.
They're my number 5.
Trust me, folks. I don't like Notre Dame at all. I don't need to preface that, but I'm just telling you, I'm not a big fan of Notre Dame. But I'm going to put them there. Their secondary is shaky, no doubt about it. A lot of freshmen and everything, but they have some playmakers, and offensive wise, they could score. And then you got a leader with Everett Golston, so that's why I always give them the chance. But man, I could literally replace them with Alabama, with Auburn, with Michigan State, with Oregon.
Yeah.
I could throw all those in there.
A lot of quality one-loss teams.
Absolutely. A lot of quality one-loss teams. And, man, it is going to be – I'm so excited for that poll to come out. For the first imagine a job that they have to do.
I can't.
And there's so many different factors. I know there's like 3 or 4 like real that make up the foundation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But there's also, how many factor in like the eye test? How many factor in the potential? You know what I mean? Like how much does that help out a Bama and a Florida State?
Yeah.
More Bama. Florida State stays undefeated, they're in. But like a Bama, where they sit there and they go, there's the potential. So are they the best team? You know what I mean? So let's stick them in there. And then I tell you what's really cool is that, 1-4 plays, 2-3 plays.
Yes.
So you want to talk about a big
game
deal.
Still left.
And you know who we're forgetting about, and I feel bad. I shouldn't have forgotten. I know we got to go to break, but Seminole Bill, TCU's there too.
Oh, yeah.
TCU
They're real.
can play some football.
They're real.
When you thought their strength was their defense, it's not their strength.
They're throwing the ball, moving the ball well.
It's Moikin, doing all kinds of crazy stuff back there. So now, they're in there. And you got to think, is there going to be a Big 12, an SEC, an ACC, and a Pac-12 that the first go-around, the College Football Playoff Committee, I think, will no way in HE double hockey sticks put 2 teams from one conference in there. Not going to happen. I think they're going to take 4 teams, 1 from each conference, and then one power conference is going to left out. And it could be, I think it's going to be a Big 12 team that might get left out. It might get TCU. They might get left out. I can see them looking at an Ohio State and Michigan State. If Michigan State wins, I think they're going to be in there because their one loss will be a quality loss against an Oregon team that most likely will be in there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. Unless they stumble down the stretch because they have some tough games coming up too. And they are getting healthier on the offensive line. So they're playing better and better. Plus they have a Heisman Trophy possible winner as their quarterback, all-around good guy.
Yeah.
So it's very exciting, isn't it?
It's really cool.
All right, stay with us, folks. Coming up, we're going to talk some NFL about the Cowboys, our power forward. Plus, our picks are still to come in. Similar Bill and I have been red hot. And, of course, our fitness tip and water break. All that coming up here on the Marc Loyd Show. Stay with us. Marc Loyd here for the #1 sports card store in the Southeast. It's Orlando Sports Cards. Folks, Orlando Sports Cards is located 2 miles south of the Florida Mall right next to Sam's Club. Whether you're a serious collector or just a beginner, Orlando Sports Cards can accommodate you if you're looking for baseball or basketball cards. How about some football or hockey cards? Well, they have it. For you non-sports fans, they carry a large selection of gaming cards, which includes Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Vanguard, and much, much more. Orlando Sports Cards also carries, are you ready for this? Over 150 different wax boxes. Those are the boxes with all the packs in them. So you're thinking with all your new cards, you need to keep them somewhere safe, right? Well, Orlando Sports Cards has a variety of supplies to keep your new cards safe, to keep them in mint condition. Visit them at OrlandoSportsCardsSouth.com or just head on down to the store. Located 2 miles south of the Florida Mall right next to Sam's Club. Or call them at 407-240-0384. The #1 sports card store in the Southeast. It's Orlando Sports Cards.
You're the person your company, family, and friends turn to when something needs to get planned. A meeting, an out-of-town conference, sporting event, reunion, church function, or a sorority or fraternity event. What a headache. Well, there's a little secret that's gonna make your life a lot easier and make you look like a hero. Bassett Events is a professional events, conference, and meeting planning service, and they provide site selection and contract negotiation services to you at no cost. Yep, no cost. As long as your event requires at least 10 hotel rooms for 1 or more nights. You see, Bassett Events gets paid by the hotel, resort, or vendor, and they'll negotiate the best possible rates for you. Bassett Events saves you time, money, and aggravation, but still keeps you in control of the decision-making process. It's one-stop shopping, and you'll be a hero because it'll be our little secret. Bassett Events, exceeding expectations one event at a time. Call 877-7-EVENT-1, 877-7-EVENT-1, online at BassettEvents.com.
This is Seminole Bill
And Eric.
with Bassett Promotions, producers of The Marc Loyd Show. Are you looking for ways to grow your business and reach new clients or customers?
Then put your brand with a proven winner.
Outstanding advertising opportunities are available right here on The Marc Loyd Show.
Give us a call today at 877-738-3681.
That's 877-738-3681 or on the net at BassettPromotions.com, and we'll discuss ways to get your brand on the airwaves.
Right here where Orlando talks sports.
NBC Sports Talk.
1080 The Team.
It's me, Marc Loyd. You know, in football, the quarterback depends on his best offensive lineman to protect his blind side. But let me ask you a question. Who's got your back, huh? Who's protecting your identity? You hear the stories daily. Retailer after retailer having their so-called secure systems being hacked into by criminals, and thousands of good folks like you instantly becoming victims of identity theft. So, how do you keep from being sacked? Well, now we have our own version of the Steel Curtain. Our amazing team at Fraud Protection Network has developed the next generation in identity theft protection, and it's It's a beast, baby. Rapid Pro real-time identity theft protection. You get credit monitoring, lost wallet protection, and positive trigger alerts, change of address, payday cash advance, and public records monitoring. It's real-time alerting, no secondhand stuff. Award-winning member service support, and a $25,000 service guarantee to back you up. Call Fraud Protection Network at 855-203-0683 or visit their website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com. Take it from Marc Loyd. When it comes to identity theft, you can't afford to lose.
If you have something to add to the show, it better be as interesting as Marc Loyd.
Welcome back to the Marc Loyd Show. Thanks for hanging with us. Thanks for dealing with my voice. Still feeling the after effects from a busy Saturday and Sunday, screaming and yelling with football. Actually, I just lost my voice. That was a better excuse of just saying I just lost it like a wimp.
You party too much.
Yeah, me. That's me.
Drink more water.
You know what, though? I'm no longer going as Jon Snow for Halloween.
What?
Yeah. My wife didn't want to be Khaleesi. So now I'm a pharaoh and she's Cleopatra.
Hey.
Yeah. She looks great. I don't know what's going on with my costume, but it's shaky at best. Hey, we're brought to you by our good friends over at Fraud Protection Network. And the Rapid Pro real-time identity theft protection. Start protecting your family today. Give them a call at 855-203-0683 and start protecting your family today, or visit them on the website, Seminole Bill at
fraudprotectionnetwork.com.
Absolutely. All right, before we talk some NFL, every single week we do our Alston Idol water check because it is very important to make sure that you're drinking at least a gallon of water a day. It burns fat. It's very, very important. Here we go around the table. Seminole Bill, what are you at?
Hey, I'm at 52 ounces today.
52 ounces. Have you been getting close to a gallon each day?
Yeah. I mean, I drink
Are you at least 100 ounces a day?
I would say right around that every day.
Okay, all right.
Getting
All right.
there.
Well, you're not at a gallon yet, though, so Alston Idol would be disappointed.
He's still-
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, Universal Heartthrob might give me a power slam.
Yeah, exactly. We always save the best for last, so let me go right now because Eric will be last. I'm at 68. I'll easily be at my 128 by the end of the day, so I'm just annihilating you, Seminole Bill.
You're on cruise control.
Yeah, I'm on cruise control. I just guzzle the water. Very important. And here we go. It's always disappointing.
Yay, it's my turn.
Oh, no.
Eric, what's your water check?
Today's Saturday, right?
Yes.
Last time we checked.
Let me think.
It's like
What
he
do you
just
think?
makes. I mean,
It's a
how
daily
much
thing.
I know how much
When did
water.
I drink water last?
Oh my gosh, we're looking back on the week.
I think the last time I drank water was...
So what do you? What?
Well, I guess today would be 0, but the last time I drank water was last Saturday.
You can't go a week without drinking water, you idiots.
A week?
Yeah, that was the last time I drank water. I mean, there's probably been water in my lemonade here and there.
Yeah, we know that. That's typical.
Yeah, but you can't survive. So you
What are you drinking?
And then there's ice cubes.
ice cubes.
So
Yeah, you get some
I'm
ice.
getting water.
Okay, all right. Let's move on.
Lost cause.
Yes, lost calls.
Yes.
That's the understatement of the year, Seminole Bill.
You know what? This is the look.
I have bigger faith in the Gators' offense than I do of Eric drinking water.
I don't know
Folks,
where we went wrong.
don't let him discourage you. Hang with Seminole Bill and I. Make sure you're drinking lots of water every single day. It's a great way to live, and it really does keep you healthy, Eric.
We can do a contest.
All right, yeah. A contest. Who could drink the most water?
At least he's not dehydrated this time.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so lemonade, I guess. I don't know. Lots of sugar. All right, let's talk some NFL. Seminole Bill, what a tear some teams are on right now.
Yes.
Okay, we mentioned the Cowboys, who I said, I think 4 weeks ago, I thought some magic was happening there. It just had a different feel. And boy, they were on a roll, man. 6-1, took care of the Giants. And if you start looking ahead down the road, Bill, you start looking at some of these schedules. And it's obvious, come playoff time, it's important to have home field advantage for certain teams.
Yeah.
Especially a Seattle team.
Seattle needs it.
But, it's important for Dallas, too, to be at home. Even though it's such a big stadium, the crowd isn't as loud. I know there's controversy. They were complaining about, other fans being there and everything like that. But regardless, the Cowboys are 6-1. They run the ball. They throw the ball. And somehow, with a bunch of misfits, they're playing playing defense. Rolando McClain, former Alabama linebacker, number 1 draft pick for the Raiders, quit football. Now he's back and he's playing outstanding. They're 6-1. They have the Eagles twice in 3 weeks later on. That's tough for both of them, for Philadelphia and Dallas, and it's probably going to decide the NFC East. Yeah, I would say it is. The game that I'm really looking forward to is December 21st when the Cowboys take on the Colts, because that's a nice segue to me talking about the Colts, who, man, you could argue he's the best player in the NFL, Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
It is true, folks. Every so often, that special guy comes along, and dude is at a different level. He's just at a different level. And they're 5-2 now. They lose the first 2 games. Now they won 5 in a row. They are tearing up teams. They lead the NFL in passing yards. He throws the ball all over the place, and I think they finally let him loose a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like they had a Lamborghini, but they said, hey, just drive through school zones constantly. Right. You know, stay at 25 miles an hour. And finally they said, okay, you can at least get on the freeway or the turnpike now.
Test it out.
But it's still, you know, there's a speed limit. Eventually he'll be on that Autobahn in Germany, a free-for-all like Peyton Manning. And then it's, oh my gosh, they're 5-2. November 16th, they go up against the Patriots. That's going to be a big game. And then December 21st against the Cowboys. Also, Denver is looking good. The defense is playing well. And they have San Diego this week, which should be a good game.
That'd be a good
It's
one.
a big game for the Chargers, Seminole Belt. Big game for the Chargers. November 30th, they're at KC. And then December 14th, they're at San Diego. The other 2 teams that are playing well. Before we go to break, though, Detroit and Green Bay are playing some solid football.
Right.
Detroit's, it's not necessarily their offense. We knew their defense was good, but they're really playing well right now. And then, are you a believer in the Cardinals? Before we go to break, I want to know that. I mean, they've only had 1 loss. They're almost like the Ole Miss to me.
You don't know what to think about
it. Yeah. The record says give them respect. Yeah. Give them respect. Because at the end of the day, it's hard to win a game in college football, and it's hard to win. It's more hard
to win the NFL.
In the NFL.
Yeah.
And I think why I'm not sold on them is because of the quarterback situation. I'm just waiting for Carson Palmer, now that he's back, to start throwing interceptions. Our power 4, real quick, then we'll go to break. My power 4. Here's the 4 best teams in the NFL, I think. The Colts, the Broncos, Green Bay, and Dallas.
Okay.
Would you take no Seattle? You're going to keep Seattle out?
Seattle right now needs a step up.
They do. They seem to be lost. The defense isn't playing that well.
But Philly's on the fringe.
Yeah, Philly's on the fringe. Very good. Very good. I'm not a fan of Chip Kelly, so
I know.
All right. When we come back, we'll talk a little Walking Dead, plus our locks of the week and our fitness tips. So stay with us here on the Marc Loyd Show. Marc Loyd here for the number 1 sports card store in the Southeast. It's Orlando Sports Cards. Folks, Orlando Sports Cards is located 2 miles south of the Florida Mall right next to Sam's Club. Whether you're a serious collector or just a beginner, Orlando Sports Cards can accommodate you. If you're looking for baseball or basketball cards, how about some football or hockey cards? Well, they have it. For you non-sports fans, they carry a large selection of gaming cards, which includes Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Vanguard, and much, much more. Orlando Sports Cards also carries, are you ready for this, over 150 different wax boxes. Those are the boxes with all the packs in them. So you're thinking with all your new cards, you need to keep them somewhere safe, right? Well, Orlando Sports Cards has a variety of supplies to keep your new cards safe, to keep them in mint condition. Visit them at OrlandoSportsCardsSouth.com or just head on down to the store. Located 2 miles south of the Florida Mall right next to Sam's Club. Or call them at 407-240-0384. The number 1 sports card store in the Southeast. It's Orlando Sports Cards.
It's me, Marc Loyd. Okay, fans, Peyton Manning, LeBron James, and Andrew Luck, all number 1 picks. Now let me tell you who your number 1 pick should be when it comes to protecting your identity. Hands down, it's Rapid Pro from our great friends at Fraud Protection Network. You hear the stories daily, retailer after retailer, having their so-called secure systems being hacked into by criminals, and thousands of good folks like you instantly becoming victims of identity theft. Our amazing team at Fraud Protection Network has developed the next generation in identity theft protection. Rapid Pro, real-time identity theft protection. You get credit monitoring, lost wallet protection, and positive trigger alerts, change of address, payday cash advance, and public records monitoring as well. It's all there, friends. You get true real-time alerting, no secondhand stuff, award-winning member service support, and $25,000 service guarantee to back you up. Call Fraud Protection Network at 855-203-0683 or visit their website at fraudprotectionnetwork.com. Take it from Marc Loyd. When it comes to identity theft, the number one pick is Rapid Pro from Fraud Protection Network.
You're the person your company, family, and friends turn to when something needs to get planned. A meeting, an out-of-town conference, sporting event, reunion, church function, or a sorority or fraternity event. What a headache. Well, there's a little secret that's going to make your life a lot easier and make you look like a hero. Bassett Events is a professional events, conference, and meeting planning service, and they provide site selection and contract negotiation services to you at no cost. Yep, no cost. As long as your event requires at least 10 hotel rooms for one or more nights. You see, Bassett Events gets paid by the hotel, resort, or vendor, and they'll negotiate the best possible rates for you. Bassett Events saves you time, money, and aggravation, but still keeps you in control of the decision-making process. It's one-stop shopping, and you'll be a hero because it'll be our little secret. Bassett Events, exceeding expectations one event at a time. Call 877-7-EVENT-1, 877-7-EVENT-1, online at BassettEvents.com.
And now, a man that knows everything, Marc Loyd.
I just love that music. I just love the music. Welcome back to the Marc Loyd Show. The Walking Dead theme song. We'll talk a little Walking Dead coming up in just a minute. We're brought to you by Fraud Protection Network and our Rapid Pro Real-Time Identity Theft Protection. Give them a call at 855-203-0683 or someone will visit them at
fraudprotectionnetwork.com.
Absolutely. Thanks for bearing with my voice, Seminole Bill.
That's all right, man.
I lost my voice, so I'm pushing through the show.
You're a trooper, man. You're doing good.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, that big matchup, Philly, we're talking about Philly on the fringe. Philly's heading out to Arizona to play those cards. We'll find out who's real.
Yeah, I should have mentioned that. So I'm glad you caught that. That's a monster game.
The misses, and I got to say this only bring misses into the picture here, but when we met, that's where they were. The stadium's literally right down the road from their old house, when I started dating the missus, which
really?
Our anniversary was this past week. So,
okay.
9 years, yeah.
9 years.
9 years
wow.
married.
Good for you. Wow,
yeah.
9 years married.
Yeah.
How about that? Never thought that happened with you, Bill. Bachelor stud.
Oh, no.
All right. Let's do our fitness tip real quick. We try to give you a fitness tip every single week here on the Marc Loyd Show because we try to live a healthy lifestyle and we want to pass it along to you. So I always look on men's fitness and stuff like that, magazines. And for you endurance people out there, and I've been one of them too, training for Ironmans and stuff. When it comes to training for endurance, you'll need to be hydrated and be sure you're eating properly because by its very nature, this form of training is very demanding on your body. You should be doing a good mix of cardio and weight training, and to increase your aerobic capacity, you should incorporate intense interval training. You'll likely be sweating buckets and burning calories galore, so be prepared. So if you're doing endurance training, make sure you're doing it correctly. Your body, it takes a toll. You got to make sure you're giving it the fuel. Got that, Seminole Bill?
So what you just said means that there's no way in heck that the guy next door is doing endurance training.
No,
without that water.
Yeah, we just had that talk during the break saying, dude, how can you not drink water for a week?
He is the Walking Dead.
Yeah, he is the Walking Dead. We got to talk about that.
But I am so alive.
Yes, that is true. My locks of the week, 2-0 last week, 6-2 on the season on my locks.
Not bad.
Which is not bad against the spread. I'm sure I'll cave in this week. I have Dallas -10 against the Redskins. I think the Redskins are in shambles and Dallas is rolling. Also, I like Mississippi State -13.5 at Kentucky. Kentucky's awful. I don't care what anybody says. They're not a good football team. Seminole Bill, you and I going head-to-head in NFL. Here we go. You ready?
Let's go.
You ready?
Yes.
Miami at Jacksonville. The Jags are +5.5 at home.
Just one,
So what do you say?
And they're at home?
Yeah.
Give me those points. I'll go get some Dolphins.
All right. I'm going to take the Dolphins. You're going to take Jacksonville.
The Jags.
Okay.
I'm going to be the homer.
All right. Very good. And then here's a good one. Ole Miss -3.5 at LSU. You going to call for the upset? You were just all
LSU's been letting me down.
I know, but you were just
you know what? Let's do it, man. They got to come out sometime. I mean,
so take LSU in the points. Do you think they went straight up, or do you think that they will lose the game but cover the 3.5?
You know what? For some
because when it comes to us, that's what it is. I'm going to take Ole Miss.
I know you're taking Ole Miss. I know you believe in it, and I'm just going to play devil there. I think LSU's got to show up.
Do you think? I'm just curious. Do you think LSU's going to win?
Yeah, I think
they're going to win outright. You don't even need the points.
I think they can come up and pull the upset.
Good deal. Should be a good game.
It will.
It's 7:15 kickoff. I think.
Let them night games in
Baton Rouge. Yeah, absolutely.
All
right, Eric, chime in here.
What happened?
All right. First of all, let me tell you something, people. For those of you that don't watch The Walking Dead, you got to start watching it. It's a phenomenon. And I'm talking from the entertainment perspective. It pulls a 17 share or over a 17 share its first week. It beats the NFL. Its second show last week pulls over a 15 share, beats the NFL again. That's like unheard of. Remember, this is a cable show. This is not on NBC, ABC, or CBS. Right. It's on AMC. To do that I've never seen anything like it. Never. Nothing comes close. It's just truly amazing. And the writing is just fantastic. So this past week, remember the first week, that's why we call Eric Terminus now.
Terminus Eric.
Absolutely. And actually, on the back of our shirts, that the mastermind over there, hashtag blame Jameis, for those of you who saw him at Doak Campbell Stadium this past week and around campus and all over the place, we're the ones that came up with, and Eric's the one out there marketing and everything. And on the back is a checklist. One of them is Terminus Walking Dead.
Yeah.
So, and they can get their hashtag blame Jameis shirt where, Eric?
At the Marc Loyd Show website, www.marcloydshow.com.
And also on the Facebook, facebook.com/
blame Jameis Ware. WEAR.
WEAR. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So you get your T-shirts there. You could always contact us at Marc Loyd Show via Twitter, also marcloydshow.com. Walking Dead. I mean, whose jaw didn't hit the floor when my good buddy Bob is sitting there and they pan out and they've chopped off his leg and they're consuming said part.
Oh, yeah.
And then also the hearse comes by. So now Daryl and Carol are after to try to find Beth, which next week's episode, I'm assuming we'll finally get to see where Beth is. And now Rick, there's 3 people missing, and now Rick is wondering, what has the priest done? Question for you, Eric. Is the priest in on it? Remember the writing on the outside of the church. Is the priest in on it?
I have a feeling. I do have that feeling, yes.
Okay.
There's something
I'm thinking that
him.
What he did was he gave away his flock at the time to the Terminus people that consume, that are cannibals. Let's put it that way. Because remember, there's writing out there. And I think in return, he leads and captures people. He does that, and he leads them and then lets them people come there and get them. And that's how he stays alive. You know what I mean? He's almost like a decoy, and that's how he stays alive. So it's pretty interesting. It's fantastic. It's just great drama. Okay. And, one more thing. Bob, he was crying outside against the tree before he got knocked out and before they whacked his leg off and consumed it. I bet you Bob got bit in the water at that store, and that's why he was crying outside, because he's infected. And now those people are eating him, and he was going to die anyway. Good stuff all around. Can't beat it. Folks, Walking Dead every Sunday night. Love the show. Absolutely. So, no, Bill, another great week here on the Marc Loyd Show. So much to talk to. I know sometimes you guys, you contact us on Twitter and stuff, and you say, hey, you didn't get to this, you didn't get to that. Well, you know what? We just don't have time.
We need more time.
Yeah. And we'll continue to grow the affiliate list, too. So we want to thank everybody out there for helping the show grow. We do appreciate that, right?
Very much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Our fantastic sponsors.
Great folks.
In all the different markets, different sponsors, different markets. So we really appreciate that as well. So for Terminus Eric, who refuses to drink water, and Seminole Bill, I'm Marc Loyd. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks, everybody.